Hey fam, it's AWM here, and it's time for some honesty about retirees who will not make it living abroad. That's right, will not make it living abroad. Right now we're going to talk about three things that appears to rank high on the dashboard, and that is fear,
perfection,
and health. So those three areas, and so we're going to get to those in a moment. And by the way, there are retirees who do make it living abroad, and we're going to get to the reasons why they make it. And yes, we are retirees who are making it. Yeah, we are both retired. Tell them about your retirement.
Well, we were living in the States still, and I had homeschooled my kids for over 20 years, and at the point where I was like, okay, do I want to continue to, well, let me rephrase that. I had been doing homeschooling, and then we moved, and prior to that I had student taught, substitute taught for a few months, and then when we moved, I wanted to see if I wanted to continue to do that or what I wanted to do. And then as time went on, I felt like, maybe I could do something more relaxing, and maybe the retirement is something that needed to happen. And I was like around my mid-60s, and I said, well, we had spoken with someone who was asking us questions and saying, what is your age? Have you thought about it? And I said, okay, I think I better go on and try and do that. So I got all my paperwork and got all things together and started doing that, and everything worked out well. We moved here, and I was continuing to do that. The money's going through the account with no difficulty, and so I have been enjoying my time being retired in a beautiful place that we've settled into.
Yeah, my retirement story is that I actually did not submit my retirement paperwork until we were living abroad in our second country, as a matter of fact. And we're here in our second country. You're going to hear wildlife behind us. You've been hearing the birds already. We are living in our lovely house here, and we own some other properties our sons own here in Zanzibar, Tanzania. So that's where we are. We've been here more than a couple of years, and we've been on the continent 3 years.
Right.
We knew long before we even thought about coming to the continent, we knew that retirement in the U.S. was not going to be feasible, wasn't going to be financially possible for us, as well as all the other aspects in terms of safety and living conditions and all that sort of stuff.
Yes, it was very expensive, and trying to live there after retiring, you're not going to be getting as much money as you did when you worked. So that was going to be very, very interesting, trying to pay, if you own a house, and trying to pay that, pay on that, and to live. So we had to really think, okay, there's something different we're going to have to do.
Exactly. And so just for clarity, we had lived in the DMV in Maryland, as a matter of fact, and I was working in Washington, D.C. So DMV is D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. We had achieved a lifelong dream of mine, and she had lived in California before, so it was all good. And we had a son who has a degree in media and film, so Hollywood was going to work for him. We moved to Los Angeles, so we were in some high areas there in terms of cost of living. But and imagine this, the housing that we looked at, because we did decide that we would try to buy a house in the inland empire, they call it, in the LA area. You're talking about $750,000, $800,000. And although we could do that, we decided, or as our youngest son said, even though you can, does not mean you should.
Right.
So we ixnayed that thought. And we thought we were going to move to Houston, Texas, because we found a beautiful brick home. I had a picture on the wall. You're talking like 180,000, two-car garage, huge yard, bigger than the one we got behind us. And but the economy changed, and the prices of everything skyrocketed, which put us into a seller's market. And although we still owned our home back in Maryland, so we stopped renting it out and decided we have an option, we have money here, let's cash it in. And we sold that home and made a boatload of money. So sometimes you have to do things that you don't think about. So let's see here. that really opened up our minds to consider moving outside of LA, and it opened up the options that were available to us. There's a whole world that's out there, and we recommend that you taste it and see. Okay, all right. So we believe that as you retire into your later years, you've worked hard, you deserve nice things, you deserve to experience some of the wonderful options available to you. Hey, you've possibly spent your whole working life, or the majority of it, working on somebody else's dream,
Right.
building America for someone else, all the while depleting your energy. So think about that. You want to get off of that hamster wheel. I often say, if I'd have known that retirement was this good, I would not have spent all those years working.
Right.
I mean, it has been very nice. We are enjoying it. Well, we talked about three things. We mentioned that at the beginning: fear, perfection, and health. And we're going to get into what we mean by that. What happens is people begin to just be afraid. Retirees may be concerned because they're going to be on a fixed income, right?
Yeah.
And so you got a retiree who will not succeed abroad. That's a person who's fearful because they don't understand what they could be doing and the options that will make themselves available to them now.
Right.
All right.
It's like the unknown.
Exactly.
It's like it's almost like you get stifled and you're like, and you don't do anything, but you need to step out of that and know that there are options, there are other opportunities, and there are tools and ways to be able to figure out how to do that.
One of the things is fear. The studies show that the thing that we fear, we spend time creating stories in our mind, and like 90% of it never happens.
Right,
actually.
right.
It's this. I've heard. Oh my goodness! One motivational speaker. I forget his name right now. He's married to Gladys Knight for a while. But he said that fear is false evidence appearing real.
That's right.
FEAR. And so what you want to do is not spend your energy thinking about the possibility of lack, because whatever you focus on increases.
Right.
So if you're focusing on fear, what could go wrong, you will inevitably find what could go wrong. That's what we mean when we say fear.
Right. And I think like you do the opposite of that, what could go right?
Yes. Yeah.
Do the opposite of that and be positive about it, and then that helps you to be able to move forward. But if you're fearful and you're saying, oh man, what if this happens, what if that happens, then you're stuck. But if you flip that and say, well, what if this happens, that happens, but it's on a positive end, and then you will press forward to find those ways to help yourself to do that.
Another area, the second one, is pursuing perfection. You want to talk a little bit about pursuing perfection?
Yeah, it's almost like you have retirees who are looking for the perfect location that they're never going to find, because there is not one. One does not exist.
Right.
You will figure out that you can find ways that we can help you to work through that. And what you want is what is a deal breaker. What is a deal breaker? I think a lot of times we don't look at things and we say, okay, we're pressing on out there in one area, but another we might be lying to ourselves about certain things, but we need to say, okay, if I'm going to do this thing, what is it that might not work for me and might not be comfortable? And you try to shoot for those areas, those things that are comfortable for you, instead of saying, oh man, if this is not happening, if that's not happening. And I know there are areas. You might have an area that's maybe it's the roads are not fixed or certain things are not that, but you want to press into those areas that are areas that work for you. So try to look at those things that are going to work for you and not against you.
Yeah, a lot of people spend their time thinking about what they don't want. And so their muscle on finding out what they do want has begun to atrophy. And it doesn't work as well for some reason. But there comes a time in your life when you have to hold yourself accountable to what you do want, and go after that thing with all that's within you. It's like one of those, we burned the ships, meaning there wasn't a plan to get back. It's like, yes, we sold our house. Yes, we sold our vehicles. We got rid of our furniture, got rid of everything. Now, if that's a little bit too much for you, well, then maybe what you can do is plan some scouting trips, plan to stay somewhere the term of a visa, maybe 90 days, depending on the country you go to.
Right.
And I'm talking, it could be an African country, it could be Costa Rica, it could be Portugal, it could be
Mexico.
Yeah.
Yes, anywhere.
But the point is, do yourself a phased in approach so at
Yes.
least you get the taste of someplace different and what you might like.
And I think that's sometimes where the fear we were saying steps in, is that you're thinking, oh, I got to just jump out and do all those things. But no, take it a little bit at a time. Like you said, phase it in. Go to somewhere for a period of time, see how that works so you get to know where you are, and then figure as time goes on if that's where you want to be or go someplace else. But phasing it in, that really works well.
So the third area is health. A lot of times we retirees are concerned about health. What's the health situation going to be like? So a retiree who is disillusioned by the American health system, the American healthcare system, can exercise their options in other countries. Other countries seem to have handled this better than us. That's why people were even trying, although Canada's closed its doors. I've talked to a former coworker just a few months ago who was trying to immigrate to Canada. She's like, I got to get out of here.
Right.
Well, they're not letting people in, but they got maybe a little bit slightly better healthcare system. But anyway, part of the reason for our bad health is the pharmaceutical industry, where drugs are prescribed for everything.
Yes, yes.
And then there's the food industry. Talk about the food industry.
Well, there's so many. Every time you turn around, there's a food recall. There's always something being recalled for this. Or 1 week it's eggs are okay, then the next year eggs are not okay. They go back and forth, the USDA, of what they say is good, what is not good. But they don't really take use of the natural products, the organic things, the things that don't have all these chemicals and pesticides in it. Because the pharmaceutical and all those groups, they're so up here, and so everybody thinks they're the only way to go, but that's not true. There are more natural ways, more organic ways to eat and to grow your own things, grow your own food, have your own cattle, have your own, there's other ways, but a lot of times we're so used to what the system gives us, we're so into the system of what it gives us, we don't know we need to figure how to get out of that system and work it another way.
Yeah, so we're looking for the same system that has captured us, that has imprisoned us. So the reason why you might be looking for this huge healthcare system is because, number one, America leaves a lot to be desired. It just really does. But number two, it's based on giving you chemicals and things like that. Versus, I recall when you brought up when one of the guys might have had a headache recently, you might say, well, here's some peppermint or something.
Just put that on your
put that on the temples
and smell it
and stuff.
Yeah, and it really helps and calms you. Even like chamomile and lavender. There's other things that you can do to kind of just bring stress down, bring pain down, that is natural, that because we've bought in so much to the pharmaceutical, we don't even think to try those things because it's not talked about. We don't know about it.
Another natural food is the moringa seeds, which I've actually been taking since we were in Maryland and Los Angeles, and they were coming from India anyway, which is right across the ocean for us.
Yes, that helps with high blood pressure, stress. It helps with a lot of areas that you wouldn't need to have to be on some other kind of pill for the rest of your life. And this is a natural pot. They grow the seeds where we are. You can just pull them off trees, or you can get powdered form, or you can crush it up and do it, however you want to do it. But that has really been working well for us, and we've told other people, doctors we've gone to see, now they know about it. So that's other ways of being healthy.
So we're saying exchange what you're desperately looking for, whereas you have to go to tons of doctors all the time because the system is making you sick. That's why. And we're saying exchange that for a healthier, more natural food, natural things. I guess I could turn the camera. I won't right now, but there's trees all around us with the fruit on them.
Yes, papaya, mango,
that the people pick and eat. Like I've gone to a neighbor's house, which is just a few feet away, and just plucked the banana off and ate the thing.
Right. There's aloe.
Yes.
Natural aloe. Yeah.
So these are natural things to help your body recover and replace a fast-paced society with one where time is in abundance, because that affects your health also. You're on that hamster wheel, churning, and so you get this slower paced society. Whether you're on an island or not, you could be in Costa Rica, you could be in Portugal, and you're just, there was a study done, and people in New York walk so fast, you know, in so many yards.
That's
it's
true.
unbelievable, the amount of stress, and we don't realize how that manifests itself in our bodies. So instead of asking, how am I ever going to be able to do that? What if you change the question? Because if you change your question, you change your life.
Yes.
Ask the question, what would it take for me to be able to do that?
Yes. Yes.
Or other questions similar to that. So we offer you a workshop where we work with you, and we'll help you work through those three, and the three most important steps to moving abroad: understanding your why.
Yes.
All right. Finances, like the cost of living. What's it cost in Chicago or St. Louis compared to Kigali, Rwanda, or Dar es Salaam? Yeah, anyway, and how to continue researching so that you can keep on going. This is going to be January 26th. It is a virtual meeting. In other words, it's by Zoom. All right. This is a very limited offer, because not only are you going to get the workshop, you're also going to get bundled with it our online course. So you're getting two for the price of one. What is the price? $97. All right. Yes, you get to attend the workshop. You get everything that comes with that. We'll walk you through the handouts. You get to hear other people's questions. You get to hear our personal experiences, our contacts. You also get the online course, which is a total separate thing that you can do on your own time, when you feel like it, at your leisure. And we're going to be adding modules to it over years. We're going to just keep adding
things are always
modules.
Updated. You know, there's always things, might be laws and rules and things changing in different places. So we'll be adding to that over the years, like he said. Yes.
All right. So like we said, you get those two things for a limited time only, because eventually they're going to be separated and the price is going to increase. Guarantee you that. But you get two for the price of one, and it's currently at $97. And the link is going to be to join or register is going to be down in the description, so you can get to it. So you're going to enjoy a great workshop where others are going to tell you, that others have told us how it really prepared them to live abroad.
Yes, we've had other people that have moved here and other places, and they were really thankful that they were glad that they took the workshops, because it helped them make really wise decisions, and also they were glad they took the workshop because it showed them what they didn't need to do. Like, for instance, if people want to know about moving furniture, things like that, they maybe didn't want to do that. So they were like, okay, I don't need to get a barrel or something else, a big item, something to put all my items in, because I'm not bringing those. So it helps you to know what you as a family or as a single person, you know, what you need to bring, what you don't need to bring.
So we look forward to seeing you at the workshop. And retirees, let's deal with those three areas.
Yes.
Let's address fear and show that it's false evidence appearing real. And let's look at the pursuit of perfection. Instead of what's perfect, let's look for what you really do want and you would enjoy. All right. And lastly, knowing that there will be a way to deal with health, a way to get insurance, or position yourself as to what is appropriate for you. I think that's it.
Yes.